All right, let's talk some Justin Jefferson for a second. I mean, listen, unfortunately, I feel like we don't really get to see him used to his potential in this Vikings offense that I've been complaining about for a while now. That being said, he's still been insane, even not being used to his potential, not having an offense that really should be built around him at this point. Like, to me, he is the Vikings' best receiver at this point. I love Adam Thielen. I think, Adam Thielen as number two is an absurd receiving core, right? But Jefferson has been incredible. And, he went from all-time great rookie season, it seemed like. Maybe that's a bit high, but I mean, in terms of a receiver, it literally was. No receiver had ever had more receiving yards than him as a rookie, and then he's continuing it this year, and we've got to see him really have, one of those classic vintage Justin Jefferson games here in year two last week. So let's talk about what happened. All right, so let's start things off with this one. This was a very good play. Kind of goes to show, I mean, what he does so well is his ability to cut. Like, that's his best thing, is his cuts are so smooth, and it's really fantastic. So what's going to happen on this play is it's going to be a cover 2 zone, and you see his route, which can work against this coverage. So worth noting, there's safety help over the top, and the corner who's covering Jefferson on this play knows he has safety help over the top. So not really that concerned about getting burned on a go route. You have help there. That's obviously notable because if you do have safety help over the top in this situation, it just makes it easier as a corner to cover, shorter routes, which Jefferson is running here. So watch how Jefferson is going to attack this route here. So watch how right when this play starts, you're going to see Jefferson gets the inside leverage on Tavon Campbell, Campbell, you might be saying, who is that? He's actually a pretty good player. He's a fast player, just done well this season. So, he might not have a name, but he's actually been a solid corner for the Chargers. Anyways, so you get the inside leverage, even though he's running an out route. This is just to get Campbell to, run in that direction, and then Jefferson's going to try to cut towards the outside. And I really like how well he's going to cut here. Look at him completely fool Campbell. Campbell had to grab Jefferson, and, you see Jefferson still ends up with the catch, even with the defensive pass interference on that play, defensive holding, whatever you want to call it. Probably defensive holding. I think it was right before the ball was thrown, but Jefferson still makes the catch. So really good stuff by Justin Jefferson. I also love, it's like, hey, don't just say, hey, I got the penalty, because that might have been a hold and you only get 5 yards. Still try to finish, get the catch. You get the catch and you get a lot more than 5 yards. So really good stuff from Justin Jefferson. I also like something like this, where what's going to happen on this play is, again, his route running is just fantastic. We've talked about it a lot. The route running is still very much there. This is a really good example of it, where it's man coverage and you see the route he's going up against, just a route over the middle. This is something that I think a lot of receivers, like, they just run the route. They don't do anything, creative with it, but I like that Jefferson is going to just help yourself out. Make it easier. Throw some extra moves in there just to get yourself more open. Make things easier on yourself. Watch how right when this play starts, you see Jefferson. So he's, the first thing he's doing is not making it clear where he's going to cut. He could be running a go route, he could be running an out route, could be running over the middle. So that part is very good. You call this the stem portion of the route, because if you think about a route tree, this is the stem. And really the ideal stem portion of a route is going to be, you do the same thing every time. No matter what route you're running, it looks the exact same every time, and that really is the case for Jefferson. I also like how he does this. Look at a little fake just to the left, just a little bit before cutting over the middle. Just makes it that much easier for him to really just get, wide open on that play. That was Asante Samuel Jr., who, he's a rookie. I think he's done some solid things as a rookie, but he still is a rookie, and you're able to fool him pretty badly there. So really good stuff by Justin Jefferson. I mean, Jefferson's only a second-year player, and he can still fool guys badly, so that's also a factor. We now have something like this, where what's going to happen on this play is that it's going to be, so I believe this is supposed to be a cover 2 zone blitz, if I understand this correctly, but they're disguising it. So the actual player who's going to be covering deep towards the offense's right, he's going to be a little bit slow in getting there, meaning that the actual safety who's to the offense's left is going to stay a little bit more over the middle of the field, meaning that the sideline is actually going to get open on this play. So Jefferson's go route is going to be a little bit more open than you would expect in a cover 2 situation. So that's all worth noting right here. First, watch Jefferson, watch this move where he's able to just kind of just, fakes it though going to the side and then goes to the side a little bit more. He gets that outside leverage. So really good stuff there. Again, once again, working on Campbell right here. Campbell, as I said, he's a fast guy. So just because you have this little bit right here, it's still going to be difficult to completely blow by him. You know, you're probably going to still have some coverage the entire way, but what this move does is it forces Campbell to turn his back towards the quarterback, meaning that if you can make a good throw, which Kirk Cousins can, then all you have to do is go up and make the grab. But watch Jefferson with, enough separation to jump up and make that catch right in front of the safety. Really good stuff by Justin Jefferson. And this is kind of the frustration I have with the Vikings offense is like, listen, you don't need to establish the run every play. You don't need to do all this stuff. This is cover 2 zone, and you just had you just threw it up to a receiver who was able to make that catch. Like, you can find ways to just get open with these guys, with Adam Thielen, with Justin Jefferson. You don't have to go so hard with the running game. Sometimes just throw it up to Justin Jefferson. It's usually a pretty good play. Like this one, this was late in the game. This play was kind of the dagger. There's a little bit of flashing lights going on. Not exactly sure what's going on there on the screen. That's not me. That was just what was happening, I guess, in real life, or at least in NFL Game Pass. What's happening on this play, though, is it's a cover 3 zone on this one, meaning that there's only a single safety deep and the sidelines could be open. So this is the play that you do want to test the sidelines a little bit, and you have Justin Jefferson, and again, going one-on-one against Campbell, this is a pretty good situation. Watch how when Cousins takes the snap, you see Jefferson again get that outside leverage, and at this point, it's very similar to that last play. Also worth noting the situation, this was late in the game, and this play ended up really kind of being a dagger. And you see that Jefferson, he doesn't need that much separation to win. Watch him go up, and he's going to be able to make this grab towards the sideline. Really just an incredible play by Jefferson, and he could do this consistently. So Jefferson maybe hasn't had the numbers that he had last year, but that doesn't mean that he isn't still just as good. Also, I just looked it up. He actually does have pretty similar numbers to what he had last year. He has 775 yards this season, kind of quietly. I feel like that's kind of flown under the radar. But yeah, I mean, I guess, I'm wrong about that. He's been just about just as good statistically. I think maybe a little bit under last year's average, but not by much. And again, he had 1,400 yards last year. So Justin Jefferson, one of the premier receivers in this game. So yeah, I mean, listen, incredible stuff from Justin Jefferson. I mean, he's the kind of guy who he'll take over a game. This has always been my thing about receivers matter a lot more than people think they do. You have a guy like Justin Jefferson, he's putting points on the board. He's adding a lot more value than a lot of other guys that people probably pay more attention to because of the position he plays and because of the dominance of the position he plays. Justin Jefferson, really good wide receiver. And you think about, I think, Mike Evans has gotten a lot of credit for being a guy who has, gotten 1,000 yards every season he's been in the league. And, that's an impressive stat. I think, honestly, a big part of what makes that impressive has been just the fact that, he's been healthy for as long as it has happened. But Justin Jefferson, he could, legitimately create a new version of that stat of getting 1,300 yards every season he's in the league or something like that, especially when you factor on, the 17-game season. That's going to make things easier. So, high expectations for Jefferson, and he's lived up to them. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.